Welcome to Cadence Design Systems Fidelity Tutorial Tuesday, where we show you how to use a feature or demonstrate a technique in just a few minutes. Today we're looking at the Edit Preferences panel, and in particular we're going to look at the controls in the Miscellaneous frame. Starting at the very top, we have the first entry here, which is Environment File. This is a somewhat new feature added in version 2023 that allows you to specify an environment file that will be used automatically at launch of Pointwise. And you may say, what is an environment file? Well, you have the ability in the File menu to use Save Environment As to create a new .pw extension restart file, which contains only environmental settings in the Pointwise interface. For instance, it will contain customizations that you've made to the defaults menu, among other panels, and in particular is very useful for storing settings that you've used in the Create Automatic Surface command and Automatic Volume Mesh commands to a file that can be reused for new projects later on. So that is what you can do with this environment file specification, is basically click on your browser, navigate to and find an environment file, select it, and open it. And that will become the default environment for all of your sessions moving forward after you've made this change. The max undo levels just simply specifies how many undo states you have available up here under the undo command in the toolbar or in the edit menu. Mine is set up right now at the default setting, which is essentially going to give you 5 undo states. Max rule violations corresponds to rules that you can set up in the examine command. So if you go to examine and pull all the way down to the bottom, it does allow you to create rules for different diagnostics such that when your particular mesh has areas or cells that exceed that value or below some minimum that you specify, then the cells for that rule violation are rendered automatically in the display window. And so what this command allows you to do in the Preferences panel is set up the maximum number of cells that would be rendered in that situation, and the default here is set as 1,000. Max MRU and Max MRE are settings for most recently used project file or most recently executed glyph script. You see these items at the bottom of the corresponding menus. So in my file menu down here, you can see I have up to 9 project files that I've used or written, as well as CAD files that I've imported. And then in the script menu at the bottom, we have similarly a set of 9 files that I've recently used and executed as glyph scripts in Pointwise. So you can change those numbers if you wish to have fewer most recently used or more if you need to for your particular situation. File dialogs start in the current directory is off or unchecked by default. This is a particularly handy setting for those users who are working on Linux systems where very often you'll execute Pointwise from some local working directory or folder, so that when you do, anytime you begin using file dialogs, they will automatically launch in that folder from where you executed Pointwise, which is very convenient. Use online documentation is checked on by default, and that essentially means when you press on the help or go to the help menu and use the user manual or topic help, it's going to go out to the Cadence website and access a document in HTML that's available there on the website. As opposed to unchecking this, which means use the documentation that's installed with Pointwise. This would be particularly handy in those cases for our users who are in isolated networks and do not actually have access to the internet to access the online documentation. And then finally, another setting that is generally off by default, I have mine checked on. Auto start session transcripts essentially has Pointwise write a journal file or journals automatically all of the steps that you take while you're using Pointwise to a file. And just below that, there's a setting for the max number of those files. So it actually increments the file name, and in this case would only keep up to 10 of those transcript files saved for you. This is particularly useful if you have a situation where you're running into an issue that you think could be a bug with Pointwise, and you'd like to record your sessions automatically in case something happens while you're using the code, and have that recording to be able to send back to us to provide support for that. And then finally, the last setting that we have here under the miscellaneous frame is the hidden color. The hidden color is the color that Pointwise uses when you turn on or tell it to view hidden entities using this show hidden command. If I toggle that on, you can see in my display window over here, I do have some additional entities that are rendered kind of in this medium gray color. In this case, these are parent surfaces for some of the entities or surfaces that I am using as quilts in this particular geometry. And so we can mouse over those and select them and operate on them as necessary. If you want to, you can change the color that's being used for these hidden entities when they are rendered, and you just click on the little color box here for hidden color and choose some other color that you prefer, and it will update automatically and render those hidden entities in that brighter color, in this case, that I've chosen. If you like this video, be sure to click the thumbs up button or subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, drop us a line down below or connect with us via LinkedIn, which is linked in the description. Thank you all, and have a pleasant Tuesday.